up, guys? Playing the Diablo 2, playing with the Warlock. Been trying to try the Warlock out for a little bit. Just got it. I honestly do not know how good he's going to be in general. But I would sound be very skeptical on it. Because right now I have the first big ass AoE thing and it's pretty fucking monstrous. Honestly, I think it's extremely powerful. He's just a different form of a necromancer. That's basically what it is. He just has different abilities. That's basically what they made him off of. He's just different from necromancer. Like a necromancer gets the poison over when he gets stronger in that, and this guy doesn't get poison over until this guy gets his Nova thing pretty quick.
I can't carry anymore.
But again, every time they make new characters, that they're always gonna be OP-ass characters. It doesn't really matter. They're gonna be OP characters. That's just how these characters are always going to be. So, I mean, it's kind of a good thing, though.
I am overwhelmed.
Little goat guy. He's pretty good. I mean, obviously he would get a lot stronger. Once you get him maxed out, I'm sure he's gonna be a lot stronger. Well, that sucks. This is all fire damage. He stabs him with a fucking knife. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, there's a lot of shit happening in Cube. I'm sure a lot of lefties are gonna get upset about it. Like, oh my god, I can't believe Cube's going on. I'm like, Cube runs around and these places and that do communistic fucking type things, and I know it's like it's hard for anybody to sit there and say, well, maybe you shouldn't do that shit, you know? I mean, I completely get that people are gonna get upset about things. It's like, well, that's the art of war. You know, when shit happens and that, you know, the reason why we went to Venezuela is Venezuela is so close and that because they do narcotics with us and that. So people do trades with that. That's why we're going after, you know, the freaking. Basically, I believe what Trump's trying to do is that's smart. He's trying to set up the world before he leaves the presidency. He's trying to set the world up to everything being, you know, decently good. To make it be like, okay, the world's gonna be a safer place, and people are gonna start, you know, doing the right thing instead of sitting there and being a bunch of fucking pussies and that. You know, I mean, that's just how it is. You know, and I understand people are gonna get upset about it and that. I mean, I can't say I give a fuck, but, you know. I said that's why our country's great. Our country's great because we have power. When we can use it to help other people out. You know, it's like no other president wanted to do this shit. Like, you know, all these Middle Eastern countries that, you know, have been running around with their heads cut off and that, you know, and, you know, we try to make deals with them and that, and they don't give a fuck about our country and that. Yeah, of course. Super Islamic, you know, twat waffles and that, they don't give a shit about our fucking people and that. They don't give a shit about their own fucking damn people. Do people really think they care? If they say they care now, then you're just fucking retarded. The motherfuckers don't care. If they care, they wouldn't be doing these things. They hate America because America has more power than them because all they do, they're third world country people. They steal from us the technology and that, just like China does, because we have all the technology. You know, and we give off our technology to certain people and that, certain allied people, not because, you know, we try to be at least nice about it, you know? But a lot of people don't understand that. I always tell people that people hate us because we have power. They're just because we have all the power. So that means that us as citizens are going to be targeted because of that hatred. If you say, well, if you leave it alone, it'll just go away. You don't leave terrorist people alone. You don't leave people alone that don't want Americans to live. Why do you think their people flee towards our country? Because their country sucks. It's fucking terrible. I mean, like, the way their currency is now, any American can be a millionaire there. Any American can be worth billions of dollars there. If you have $100, you're worth like $200, $300 million. Because their exchange of stuff is really low. Because their inflation is so freakishly fucking high. A lot of people get butthurt about it. And they make up every excuse about things. It's just like... That's what I don't like about politics. Whatever is true is true. We're not gonna make up things and just assume. Like, from a liberal standpoint, they always talk about, you know... that we're gonna go to war now. I'm like... Well, every Democratic president, we've been in war. Like, we all go to war. It's not gonna stop. We always go to war with the same fucking people. We always go to war with the fucking Islamic people. You gotta say, why is that always happening? Because these people don't like fucking Christian value people. They fucking hate us. And they always will hate us. They're never gonna stop hating us. Of course, it's never the people that do, because they're tired of their bullshit too.
I can't carry anymore.
But some people like to sit there and say things. You say, no, oh, don't worry about their country and that. Let them worry about their country and that. I said, well, that's what powerful people do. Powerful people save people. That's the idea. If you don't want to save people and that, then you shouldn't be a president of a nation of great power.
It is clear.
That's it. You shouldn't be president of a nation with great power. That's the problem with a lot of U.S. presidents. They don't have the balls to really do anything about stuff that actually needs to get done. They sit there and they make bullshit deals to enrich themselves. Or they sit there and they'll just sit there and make up excuses. And we try to talk about things with people that are like, you know, on one political side. They have to freak out. And they make up other things. And I listen to the stuff and I was like, it's like every president says stuff to get in office. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just how it is. It's just how political stuff works. Like, I really understand people are trying to like, oh, well, this and that. I was like, well, it's just how it is. You're not gonna stop it. That's why I don't give a fuck. Let them do whatever the fuck they want to do. You know, if they want to sit there and blow shit up, you know, and save people and that, then be my guest. Blow shit up and save people.
I need mana.
There's nothing wrong with that. So people, you know, wanna. You know, a lot of people get offended by that shit too. Like, stop being offended by shit. Just live your life. You know, like, politics are always gonna be there no matter what we do. The biggest case scenario is, why do we keep sitting there and hurting ourselves over what these politicians do? The president only runs so much. And like, I insist on not getting into arguments with people that want to sit there and get mad. You know, I talk about things, and it's good to talk about things, it's good to discuss, but they always get so hyperactive. You know, they have so much haters. Like, I never hated Biden. I mean, obviously that wasn't Biden, that was the guy at the mask, because it didn't look like Biden at all. So, I mean, I can't really say that I knew the guy in that, you know, but like, when he was younger and that, he was more prosperous than he is. He was way more prosperous. I guess he does get frenzy. I wish I can get more of them, dude. You guys are actually pretty damn strong. But yeah, that's how I get so upset with people, man. They get like all pissy about shit. I'm like, why?
I am overburdened.
You know, like when I talk to people that want to disagree with certain things, and you can disagree with things, that doesn't mean you have to sit there and hate and go through that possibility of being kind of a dick about it. It's like, that never solves any problems at all. Like, you can't solve problems if you're yelling and screaming at people. You can't get to a conclusion when you're not actually talking to people, when you're just sitting there being a dick about it, you know? You know, like, I get in conversations with people about things, and, you know, yeah, I don't think people should praise, you know, here's what it is. You talk about the truth, and you talk about the false. You don't just blindly, like, Jesus talks about blind faith, and, like, you just believe in something because other people say it. Like, that's false believing. When you have your own conclusion about something, you can look at it from that perspective. But when you sit there and you're not looking at the ideas of a person, it's like, say, like President Trump says about the whole thing, and that, you know, saying that we don't want to put foot on the ground. He's like, I'm not doing that. They did an initial strike on Iraq because they have big missiles that are blowing up fucking civilians, and people want America to get involved with certain things. I said, with our military might, we have to get involved. That's the whole point of being the strongest country. Yes, we deal with our stuff, but our navals are sitting out there. They're gathering fucking rust and shit. They're willing to do stuff. They're willing to travel across the world, you know, and to do stuff about crazy Islamic terrorist people that are killing thousands of their own people, and that because they're all a bunch of psychopaths. You know, that's what power's there for. It's there to use. God tells us to take away the wicked, so we take away the wicked with power. Jesus told us that. He said, when people hurt and kill innocent people, you hate them, you take them out. That's the whole point of this. I don't give a fuck what politics it is. If God says for us to fucking do this shit, it's gonna happen no matter what. I totally believe that innocent people are getting killed, especially, you know, casualties of war is gonna happen no matter what people think. But when they're getting killed by their own regime because they're psycho fucking pass, and they're killing children and shit, yeah, you know, fuck those people. Fuck all those people that are fucking sitting there killing innocent people because they want something different. They're the ones paying for all this shit, so they deserve to have something different. Without us paying taxes, the government doesn't mean shit. None of it means anything. That's why I don't like when, you know, people sit there and doesn't matter how much you get paid in that. Knowing that your taxes are going to the government, or going to any government, the state government, or the federal government, they should use your money based on what you choose to use it for. That's the whole point of paying. If not, I don't want to pay taxes. Federal tax is huge compared to state tax. Federal tax funds, you know, certain things. Hey, I want to fund our military. Fuck yeah, I do. I don't want to fill in all these other departments and that, like the fucking, you know, the ethnic departments and all these fucking race baiting departments and that, and now the transgender department, all that stupid ass fucking shit. No one gives a fuck about that. If they care about that, they can do it in their own state. Don't do it with the federal. Leave our fucking federal funding alone. Keep that away from that shit. I want a strong military. I want a proud military. Our country's always been proud in defeating enemies. Defeating people that are fucking bad. Of course, you got all these fucking fucktards that come in and they want to say a bunch of stupid shit like, oh, we don't want another war. It's not a war. The whole world wants this. It's an agreement with the whole fucking world. If you don't want this, then I guess you don't want to save innocent lives. So then, fuck you too. You're not a fucking real American then. You know, like, I agree with some things. Some things happen. I agree. But guess what? God comes first. God always comes first. God himself hates wicked, pride, lying motherfuckers. When innocent lives are being killed and people just say, well, let's let it happen, then you're not a good Christian. You're not a Christian at all. Sorry. Like, you're not. Doesn't matter what you say. Doesn't matter how you do it. You have to change your mind about things. Truthfully, people don't never think this way. Of course they don't. I don't believe it at all that people really think this way. People say things because they're upset. But when it comes down to politicals, when I look at how Democratic people always do it, they're kind of like the sore losers of the bunch. They get really fucking mad and get really fucking pissy. And like, try to talk to people like that, it's kind of hard sometimes. And it's like, well, you gotta make sense out of it. It's just like, you only attack people because it makes you feel better about what's going on with your life, I guess. You gotta have something to talk about, you gotta have something to do, so I guess talk about politics is great. Because other people want to talk about it too. You know, a whole bunch of people talk about that, all it is pure fucking hatred. This and that, and then people try to say, well, you don't understand. Because I understand perfectly what's going on. I just don't fucking care. I don't care how hateful people are in politics. We're saving innocent lives, that's all I care about. I don't care about how it gets done. Why do we have all that money going towards the military if we can't even fucking use it? Oh, he gets a book? Doesn't he? What's he getting that? Freed 5 magic damage? What? That's a defensive thing? Okay, that's pretty nice. But I do get why people get mad at shit. I do get why people do stuff like that. But I said, you know, if a president was in there that was on the liberal side, you would always think of it differently. Every time I talk to a liberal about that, it says Obama, if Obama could have been the president again, he did the same thing, you wouldn't say the same thing that you're saying now. And why do I say it like that? Because it's the truth. It's not about who's in office, it's about that your people are not in office. That's all it is. That's all it's ever been. I stand down that 100%. I mean, if people get mad about it, they get mad about it. Like, well, I mean, where does it come down to the truth then?
I'll put that to good use.
If you're saying it's not true, then why is it, you know... I'm saying, you don't want to say it's not true and that, but it ends up being true. I say if Kamala Harris won, I mean, obviously she'd be a terrible president because she's a fucking moron. She's literally a fucking idiot. Complete fucking, she just, like, Why do you want someone in that has a low ass IQ that drinks all the time and doesn't even speak right? You know, they get the stupidest fucking people in there. Just proven. They get dumb fucking. That's what I like about. At least I like about Obama. At least you know how to speak, right? He was a fucking complete fucking idiot.
Such an old tree. Pity its fruits are just this scroll.
He definitely sounds like. He sounds exactly like the necromancer. Yeah. The necromancer sounds exactly like. But yeah, every time I talk about stuff with that, it's like I always want to be the middle ground. It's like I don't like everything that Trump does. And there's some things like Pam Bonnie's a fucking, you know, she's definitely a piece of shit. But like when people talk about, you know, like Pete Hegseth and that, I was like, I don't know, he's a military guy. He's been in the military for like what, 20 years or something like that. I mean, he's getting shit done. It's all fun having a fucking military if you can't fucking use it. So why people complain about, oh, go to war? I mean, well, we're doing a good thing to save people's lives. I would say that's the one thing God pisses about. Most people say, you know, it's okay for certain things to happen. I said, no, it's not. Because if Iraq or Iran gets freed, which it's going to, we can start doing trades with them. And then other people can trade with them. And then the world gets better. Because you're doing equal trades with everybody. And then everybody gets happy. When people say, oh, we're trying to negotiate with these people that, you know, like, well, you're not trying hard enough. And that's what a lot of these, like, liberal-based people say. You can't trade with communist dictator terrorists. Okay? People say, I hate America so much, but you fucking live here. They do. They say, oh, I hate America so much. So you basically are just like the Islamic fucking terrorists. You hate America, but those Iranian people don't hate America. Those Iranian people don't hate America. You know, most of the Islamic fucking people come over from all the war-torn countries that from the communist regimes don't hate America. And that's what we could do. We could ship all you hate America people that to the communist people. We could get all their people over here. I bet you 100% they'd be happy to have a fucking job, have safe drinking water, have a way to live life without being in terror and have bolts flying at them 24/7. And they'll send you into those countries. I bet you motherfuckers won't like that shit at all. You'll complain. It no offense to a lot of you people, you wouldn't even survive a fucking week because you're all spoiled rotten fucking brats. You say you want the border to be open for what? To have fucking sickos come in? I don't think people understand. Everyone wants to get into our country. Why? Because our country's the most powerful country in the world. We have all the money flow. That's fucking why, dumb fucks. So that's why thieves come in and drug traders come in. Because you stupid motherfuckers are the ones that do most of the fucking damn drugs. It's mostly like, you know, deranged, fucked up people that do the bulk of the fentanyl in our fucking country. They say, well, it's not their fault. What do you mean it's not their fault? Addictive personality happens. Why? This is the question you have to ask. And then when you ask that question, it's like, why are you addicted? You start off when you're a kid and that you devote your brain to it when you were fucking young. And you became fucking stupid because your parents weren't there to tell you fucking no. Or you didn't realize because you were depressed and no one didn't like you in that because you're in fucking high school. Instead of looking for a better way out, you did what? You did a bunch of drugs and act like you're fucking cool in that and no one gave a fuck about you. That's exactly what happened. People stop caring about you. And those friends stop caring about you even more. The motherfuckers don't give a fuck about you. They're too busy fucking everybody else over. They're too busy doing drugs and that. A righteous person cares. A person that has a heart fucking cares. I would say that's the reason why there's so many problems in that. You want to be with people that care, but those people don't care about themselves. Why the fuck they care about you? They don't. I know plenty of people that used to do all that shit and that, and a lot of them are still drunks. They're still fucking losers. They still don't fucking work. They're lazy as fuck at work. They're so deranged. They're so fucked up in the head. Why? Because they started doing drugs and shit when they were fucking 13, 14. And their brains weren't developed enough to understand enough. They relied on that to stressalize themselves because they think stress is so bad. They really think stress is the root of all stuff. And they know stress is what makes you grow into a better person. It's just what you use the stress for. If you use the stress for knowledge, you get more knowledge. You use the stress for strength, you get more strength out of it. You get stronger in that. This is what people don't understand. And they go through this rope over and over and over again, and they want to like, oh, well, I need to understand. And then you see them when they're in their fucking 30s. Around my age. In their 40s and that. Around people's ages I fucking see at work. Completely all fucked up. They have no fucking teeth. They literally don't have anything. They're just sitting dust buckets. Their will to live is very, very small. But you know, it happens sometimes. Nice. To that. Man, you get a lot of plus skills with this character. Got 3 skills left. I might have changed a lot of things in that. But yeah, I personally have to talk about this stuff now because I see it all the time. I see the results of people doing that shit, and they talk to me about it, and they say, yeah, you know, it's like, I give them, they're like, oh man, I wish I could do that fun all over again, and I say, yeah, you're all about worried about having fun. You can have fun anytime you want to, but you have to work hard and then have fun. You work hard, you have fun, you have harder fun or it's fun. One of the guys I used to work with, he was in jail for a little bit, and he told me, yeah, I work hard, I work 2 jobs, I have fun, I go to a strip club and I throw a couple $100 out and that, and I have my fun in that. I said, yeah, I mean, I don't think you should do that, I think you should finance your money in that and probably work for something a little bit more stabilizing. But hey, if that's the life you want to live, he's in really good shape in that, I can't say nothing about it. He's in better shape than I am. Like, skinny-wise and that. And that's the life he lived, and I couldn't blame him for that. He was doing what he wanted to do. And I give him props for that. Well, of course, I look for things from a different perspective now than I ever did. I said, if a person's like that, there's a reason why they're like that. There's never not a reason. There's always a reason. If someone's stupid, there's a reason why that they're stupid. I mean, people can agree with that. So it's because they don't want to learn, yeah. They're not interested in learning. They're only interested in being stupid. Being stupid's easy. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to learn anything. You barely have to do anything. You do bare minimum of fucking work at your job. Which a lot of people do. You know, do the bare minimum. You don't want to do anything new. You do the easiest work you can. And every time you do want to work hard, you work hard at one thing that everybody else does, but you work harder than that. So at least shows that you're at least trying. I know people like that at work. I work with people like that. They all do the same thing. They do pointless tasks that don't help out the main person. And they do it over and over again. And they're like, I'm helpful. To a certain extent you are. But you're not the main helpfulness. You're not creating the product. You're just like doing the floors and cleaning cabinets and shit. I tell people that if you want to be a janitor, you'll make more money. Go work up at the school. They'll probably pay you 20-something bucks an hour to fucking just wipe floors and clean up toilets and shit. And a lot of times the janitors just like walk around and they don't do anything until like lunch and shit. Then they go around and help clean up stuff and that when kids are at lunch. Half the time their work never really starts until after kids leave. And then they all go to work and that. A lot of times they sit in their little janitor office. They got little janitor offices and that. Or they just walk around and like clean up, pick up shit. Their jobs don't have to be anything too dramatic. And they make 18, 20 bucks an hour. They always get 40 hours a week. They're run by the state. That's the thing people don't look at. But yeah, but the way I look at life and that especially comes down to certain things that, you know, it's just like my beliefs in that. Keep it going. Don't ever stop learning. Learn new things. Change your mind about things. Change your mind about people. I change my mind about people a lot. People want to say, you know, I hear these thoughts and that from some people that say, how can you change your mind about people? You know, I have a revenge type mind. I don't want to change my mind about people. Because if you change your mind about someone, and then eventually change their mind about you, then that means that your minds are changed altogether. People don't hold the same grudges forever. If some people do, then shame on you. That's your own personal fault. And they love getting mad at that shit. To hold a grudge on someone for 10 years, and most times it's women, and some dudes, it's just an emotional thing. Maybe people are overly emotional, they hold shit forever. I said, it's a personal thing that you can't change, so why you hold it when you know that's not going to change? Don't hold it. Why? Because it's for your own self-worth. For your own self-worth, you shouldn't fucking sit there and torment yourself over what other people do. God tells us not to have revenge, because revenge itself is pitifulness. It's pitiful. You're not doing it because you're not doing it in a way that's, you know, going to make you grow as a human being. You're doing it in a way that's going to harm other people because it's pitiful. That's why God tells us to turn the other cheek. But he's actually saying turn the other cheek because if it comes down to it, it's never fucking worth it. But also comes down to it, you know, like this one guy was saying, he said it pretty good. Now he says, if someone's going to slap you on the left side of your cheek, you'd say their dominant hand's right, they're going to slap you in the back of their hand. You know? To a certain extent. That's what he said, when you turn to the other cheek, you turn to the side, they can't hit you because you're turning. They have to hit you flat. You know, I think being slapped all together is a bitch way to do it. And I slap fucking motherfuckers sometimes too because they're pieces of shit. And of course it never happens that much. But sometimes it happens. I slap them. They get mad, I slap them again. Nah, it only happened once. Because the guy was fucking around with me in a fight and I slapped him in the fucking face. He got mad. I said, what do you mean? We were play fighting, motherfucker. well, yeah, you want a real fight in that? That's what he told me, and I'm like, no, it's like, you said you want the play fight to see how fast I punch and shit, and so I slapped you. Well, am I supposed to fucking punch you in the face? Well, if I punch you in the face, I would have knocked you the fuck out. You've been laying on the ground seeing fucking stars, and then everybody would have fucking fired my ass over that shit. I'm like, that's kind of the whole point. And like, yeah, right now I'm doing laundry. I gotta fold up my shit in that before it gets too much wrinkles. I pull out some shit I don't use. Okay, I need these shorts are not good. These pants are too small. Those are not good. What's in here? These are too small. Yeah, I'm trying to. Oh. Yeah, I think during the summertime, and I'm gonna start wearing sleeveless shirts when it's really fucking roasty outside. I'm gonna go for a walk and try to see how that works on my skin. Try to absorb as much sun as I can. Try to fry my skin up a little bit. It's the best time to do is when it's really fucking hot. Like when it hits like 100 degrees, go out there and when the sun's bright. Bring some water in that and sweat my fucking balls off. But anyway, I always want to bring up these subjects and that when it comes down to how we should act. Because when I see people that act a certain way, it's like, why get angry? You know, what's it saying? What was it saying? You know, why get angry? You could just get even type shit. So why get even when you could just learn from the mistake and just move on? Not everyone's going to like you. The idea in people's heads that everybody has to like me. I said, no one has to like you. There's not a damn motherfucker in this world that needs to like you. Because if everybody liked you, then who are you? You're not fitting a personality. You're changing based upon all the personalities. And I promise you, a lot of people are like that. They change based upon all the personalities. That they'll try to act like someone else in front of different people. And I said, just be yourself. Be your authentic self. Like I'd be at work trying to act all ghetto and shit because we have a, you know, kind of like ghetto talking black person that works with us. I said, why the fuck you talking ghetto? Well, I'm trying to what? Like, you're the kind of person that wants to scream out racist and shit, and I'm like, what's the most racist thing you can do? Act like someone else. Like, do you not understand what racism actually is? Do we need to go to fucking like retardo school to learn this shit? Racism is hating on the ethnic group, right? That's the form of racism. Is to dislike an ethnic group because of the color of their skin. Think about that word. To hate or to dislike someone's color of their skin. So you hate the color of their skin, you're a racist. That's what racism actually comes down to. That's the borderline semi-definition. You're discriminating against someone because of the color of their skin. But it never says you're discriminating against someone because of the way they talk. Discriminating against someone because of the way they act. So if you talk like a black person towards a black person, is that considered to be racist? I say yeah. Because you're falsifying your own personality to fit their personality. And when you do it, you're literally legitimately making fun of them because you're trying to act like them. Leave them alone, please. Leave the old black community alone. I don't mind the ghetto slinging talk shit. I mean, yeah, not all people do that are black. Of course not. But it's fun to listen to. If you can understand them. Because sometimes you can't understand, you know, a lick of what they say sometimes because it's just their dialect's so ghetto. It sometimes is hard to understand. But doesn't mean we have to sit there and be like, oh yeah, man, I'm black too. Bitch, shut the fuck up. I hate hearing that stupid ass shit. It drives me crazy how fucking dumb people want to do that shit. Like, I work with a black guy in that, you know, he knows that he's kind of like a little bit bad at communication. You know, he doesn't really talk 100% proper, but he does sometimes, you know, it just happens. And I know he's frustrated with it because he knows people can't understand him. I was like, yeah, bro, you're talking ghetto, and we don't understand ghetto talk. It's really hard to comprehend what you're saying. You know, so you're going to have to learn to respond to people in a different way because we don't fucking understand you. Oh, that shirt's so nice. That's what it is. And it's okay. You know, I totally believe that, you know, you be who you are now. I think you should learn, you know, especially to learn how to communicate in that. I don't believe there's a specific way how to talk, like the way you talk in that. But how you talk in that, yeah. If you want to talk ghetto, at least try to be more productive with the words that you're saying. You can always have that ghetto slang, of course, if people actually understand it. But sometimes, you know, you can still talk like a normal, average person without trying to say a bunch of random words that no one knows of because of slang and ebonics and that, or whatever the fuck people want to say that language. Is it hard to do? I'm sure it is. Most people are growing up on that shit. And they truly are. To do my... I can do my laundry really quick. Ooh. Clean up a little bit. But yeah. Oh, man. As long as we can learn together, who gives a shit? That's when we stop learning together, we start pushing each other. Things people always say, well, like, well, where's racism come from? Well, honestly, racism came from a race baiting man that use racist stuff to make money off of people. Anyone that complains about reparations, that's the whole point, because they truthfully believe that, you know, they truthfully believe that, you know, white colonists came into Africa and said, "Come here, black man, come here, black boys." They tie them up in nets and they brought them in on the boat. They really believe that, but the actual history of it is, because you actually need to know the fucking actual history, why it happened. That, yeah, they were sold. And guess who sold you? Islamic. Oh my god, the Islamic Muslims sold you? Yeah. The Arab people back then sold you? The Islamic people sold you as slaves? Don't blame Christians. Blame the Islamic motherfucker. The Islamic faith religion is not the people. It's the higher-ups. Just like with the governments where we are at. It's the higher-ups that do this shit. They like money. So the kingdoms do stupid shit. And then people get mad because they think it's this and that. No, you're just being lied to. It's not this and that. It never was this and that. You were lied to. Why were you lied to? Because it's fucking easier to just say some bullshit to get shit started. The bulk of the elitists in our world, they all do the same thing. They start shit and they cover up shit. That's just what they do. When they shit, they cover up their shit and they blame it on someone else, and then they shit even more. You can say, well, why do they do stuff like that? Because they're smart. These elitist people aren't stupid. They all talk about shit. They all say, well, hey, these stupid motherfuckers are going to get in fights with white people and that because of color. And that's what happens. And then what happens? You get a huge amount of people fighting over color. And then they instigate even more, and they make up a story. I would say African American ancestors, bless your souls for making the country. Bless your souls for helping making the country good. And bless your souls for getting freedom and having your spiritual soul culture in our country. The black community back then created so much promises and basically got torn away because of the communist dictatorship of the Democratic Party. They insist on not believing. Now it's changing. And it's pissing off the elitists on the Democratic side and on the far left side. Because they're losing fucking power. And as power-hungry assholes always do, they get fucking mad and frustrated why their power's not using. You can't pull the Ku Klux Klan shit again. Because that's what happened before after the Civil War. After slavery. When the Republic fucking beat the fucking Democratic Southern fucking communist assholes in. We sat there and did what we can. No one wants to talk about the actual history. George Washington and Abraham Lincoln were fucking heroes in the old age. That's why we are the way we are today. They didn't free the slaves. You wouldn't have the culture you have today. You think it's bad now? Think about this. What if slaves weren't free? We would still be a third world based country. We wouldn't have the smart African scientists and all the smart people that actually wanted to do stuff. There's many people in history that we don't talk about. Of course we don't. We only talk about the fucking Greeks and the motherfucking Germans. The Germans came over with all their technology after World War II. Project Paperclip. That's all they talk about. They talk about a stupid motherfucker that made a fucking bullshit rocket made out of fucking tinfoil. They made missiles and shit. And a tinfoil rocket. That rocket was made because they wanted to make a missile out of it. The first one wasn't even human accessible. Von Brown, or fuck his name is. All I talk about. No one ever actually talks about the heritage of actual things. People that were born in America, raised in America. So I give thanks to the communities that are not in the history books that much. Unless you fucking look it up. They're not talked about enough. All the men and all the women that actually did stuff in their lives that actually want to make the country actually better. Why is it only based upon what we think history is for what they tell us? No, actually look at history. Look at what the actual thing is. We try to sit there and make up all these fucking things. But do we actually look? Fuck no, we don't. We just believe. Like when you know about Jesus now, you actually look up where Jesus was born. It's a real place. You actually look up where he was, why he did the things he did. Because he was the Son of God. You actually do the fucking little bit of research in that to understand things. Because it's real. The history would have been changed and not knowing who Jesus is if he wasn't the Son of God. God let it happen. People died over with their blood. Just like the history books that we have. People die over the blood to make the country great, which is America. And we still sit there and disrespect our fucking heritage. Because they're all a bunch of fucking retards. My grandfather, bless his soul, he was in the Vietnam War. He saw people get fucking shot. He saw people losing limbs. I never really looked at him like that. But I could see the sincerity in his eyes. That man went through hell. American, we all have to go through our hell. Why? Because we're a Christian nation and we fight for God. We have to go through hell so we can crawl out of it. So we can actually meet Jesus. So we can break away from our sins and try our hardest to make life better for everybody. That's what it means to be a Christian. That's what it means to be a God-like powered state or country. That's why we have all the stuff that we have. But the devil wants to tear us down, making up narratives. First they go after the gays, the gay narrative, Pride Parade, the gay narrative, blah, blah, blah. And then they made it to where it's all transgender parades, a bunch of fucking perverts with their dongs hanging out in front of children. And people say, we're gonna... The majority of people in that. No one likes him. Yeah, no shit, no one likes him, because that's fucked up. Like, you're lucky that we don't have our own personal civil war. You know, when all these protests go on, you're not gonna see, tens of thousands of heavily armed Americans going in and saying enough is enough. I mean, stop bitching. If you're a protest for something that's, good for the country. Don't protest because you're angry, because you're just emotional. You don't have any good ideas, then shut the fuck up. No one's perfect. If you're a sore loser or not, then stay a sore loser. Go crawl back into your apartment or whatever and go cry. You have the freedom to cry like a bitch online. But you don't have the way of saying that, you want to hurt other people. It's stupid and fucking massively unjustful. One of the guys working said to me, he said, I was like, if anyone that believes in President Trump or socializes with President Trump or whatever, like, people socialize with them. He's a president. I don't think normal fucking people could socialize with a billionaire president. Anyone that, whatever. He says, I'm not going to socialize. I have nothing to do with you because he's a pedo. I said, where's the proof at? Gets quiet. I said, there's no proof of this. Why? You say, why just know? I said, I love how dumb fuck just say you just know what there's no proof. You know what you have? You have an opinion that hasn't been proven yet. So just shut the fuck up. I don't care. If there's no actual proof, then why would we keep on sitting there and making up bullshit that's not true? It's like, duh. Why do we do that as humans? We make up shit. We say, well, we think it's going to happen. When? Well, we don't know. So why do you hurt yourself? Here's what I think about it. Why do you hurt yourself over something you don't know? Why get mad and frustrated over something that you don't know? That makes no sense to me. I'm not going to get mad. Why would I get mad at someone else? Like, why would I get mad at someone because they're just like, okay, well, I agree with what you're saying that, but we have to look at it from both perspectives. Fuck no, I'm not going to get mad. Number one, why the fuck would I even care? Because I don't. I'm just saying that I listened to all the things I said. If it affects me, makes my life harder, I don't give a fuck about it. If it's truthful and there's enough evidence to prove that's true, then I'll give it a little thought about it, I'll care about it. But if it's just nonsense motherfucking drama, which I tend to hear a lot of, with a lot of different things in it, I said, you're just creating something because you want a talking point. And when you want a talking point, that just means that the things that you do are not good enough for you to talk about. You have nothing to talk about. Like Andrew Tate, and I'll be able to think about Andrew Tate, blah, blah, blah. But Andrew Tate had a good point. He says a lot of people that have a lot of experience in life have stories to tell. They have things to talk about because they do a lot of things. People that don't do a lot of things, they're the ones that make up shit. They're the ones that gossip stuff because they don't do anything. They're literally the ones that home it, they ponder about doing things, but they never cease to do them. And it makes you a fucking loser because you don't do nothing. I got stories for days talking about this random ass shit that happens in my life. Because I go out in the public. I talk to the public. Specific people and that. I get experience from the public. That's why I'm getting more mature. So anyone that sits there and they're at home and they're sitting there pondering on the internet and that, and they have no life experience, then what are you doing? You're not getting anywhere. You're not doing anything. You're remotely fucking killing yourself. And then you want to bitch about it. And tell you, they bitch about it. My God, they bitch about it. And it becomes funny. And it's like, what are you talking about? Well, I believe this and this is going to happen. I said, you believe. Do you listen to the words that come here? You believe. That's an opinion. That's a philosophical opinion. That doesn't mean that there's any evidence for it. You're just thinking out loud what you think could happen. Man, that shit fucked my legs up. Now I was doing goblet squats and that, and my hamstrings pull really easily in that because I need to work on getting stronger in that. So it sucks. I said, if you want to have a good talking point, talk about things that actually are fucking, well, realistic. Like I always say, every time I talk about a president or talk about anything with politics, I said they all do the same thing. They all say things they want people to hear so they can get elected. That's number one, 100% true. And they always fall through at least a couple of the things so they can keep at least 20 to 30% of their promise. Because then they can kind of talk about just random shit. All presidents do that. That's just how it is. Like people say, I always say that, when people say the economy's bad, how? Well, because the economy's bad. Where's the proof at? I work for fast food. We're fucking busy. We're always busy. We get at least 400 to 500 orders, give or take, a day. On the least side, at least 300 and something. That's a lot of orders. That's countless orders. And sometimes these orders are gigantic as fuck. Sometimes they're at least $50 to $70. And like the $50 ones will probably get, 30 or 40 of them. The $70 ones, maybe about 20. The ones that reach over 100, maybe a couple. But throughout the whole entire day, we are constantly getting orders. So when I listen to people, I say, you say the economy is bad, then why are so many people coming in here buying shit? They're like, well, because of taxes and shit. I'm like, okay. You say because of taxes. That's a good explanation. And that's a good explanation. Yeah. You tell me, but what before that? A couple months ago, we were still doing 200 to 300 things during winter time. People come in with high-paid jobs all the damn time. They make 20, 30, 40 bucks an hour. They always come in all the damn time, 24/7. And we see these people every day. It's like the same fucking people. All the damn time. Come in every day. There's probably at least like 100 or so of them. Wow. 100 or so of them? Yeah. That sounds like quite a bit, doesn't it? It does. Sounds like a whole lot. Same people. And they spend at least $10. They do 100 times 10. That's $1,000 right there. Or is it? Give or take. So okay, that's 100 times 10. That's some bare minimum. That's about $1,000. That's just the people always constantly come in. And of course, you always get a lot of kids that come in, and these kids buy at least $50 worth of food. They're all kids that have their parents have businesses and that they make good money in that because they're working for their parents and that, and they're always doing good. I know some kids that are younger than me. They're already millionaires. Why? Because they work really fucking hard. It's like their parents start a business and that. I know like this kid and I know his dad and all that stuff and that. His dad starts a business and that, and then he runs with the business and that. You know, they do everything by cash, so obviously they don't pay taxes and that, but obviously if they do stuff, they have to pay taxes eventually. But what I'm trying to say is, motherfucker ain't got no pockets in this motherfucker. I'm gonna change my shorts. We got no pockets, guys. Pockets. Fuck. How about the purple ones? You got pockets? How about you? How about you, red ones? You got pockets? You do. Okay. I don't know why certain things don't have pockets. Well, it is. These kids are walking in with like thousands of dollars in that, and they're smart. They're using what they do. They use tactics to make money, and they make good money. I give them props. I'm like, yeah, make good money. I mean, some of it's kind of shady shit, but they make good money now. Yay, it's updated. You're all set up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Find my hats. But yeah, I was gonna look at it from that perspective. And I was like, okay, you know, this and that, this and that. Because the economy's so bad. And then people are buying like $50 worth of fast food. I said, oh, like how you said the economy's bad, but everyone's buying shit. And like, if you don't work in the fast food and shit, work in the lower down industries of shit, and you want to say you know their economy better, I say, no offense to you, you don't know shit. Because working in these industries that people always go to every day, our business is getting more. You know, we raised up the prices because the minimum wage jumped up by like I don't know, like 75 cents for us and that, I guess, or whatever the fuck it was. People are getting paid more. I'm like, okay. So money had to be raised up. Because they want to pay us more. Good thing. Love it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go to the gym and get some exercise. I haven't done it in a while. I might go to bed if I get home with that. Today I'm going to be until 7. Let's take a piss again. Everybody. Okay. I'm gonna get the fuck off.